Have you ever realized that your comfort show is like one of the most unhinged things ever put on television? Because same. I think for a lot of us, especially people who grew up in that 2010s era of chaotic reality TV, Dance Mom sits in this weirdly sacred place. It's nostalgic, it's dramatic, it's memeable, and it's comforting. But then, if you watch it now with adult eyes, you realize it's also kind of horrifying. Like these were actual children, crying on camera because a 45-year-old woman was yelling at them about a jazz solo. And yet I still find myself putting it on when I'm sad, or when I need background noise, or when I want to feel that weird mix of comfort and chaos that only Dance Moms provides. So today, we're breaking it down. Why does Dance Moms, a show built entirely on stress, manipulation, and competition, feel like home? Why do we find it soothing? And what does it say about the way we consume reality TV, that we crave chaos but call it comfort? I'm Jonathan Bickford, and this is CreateChaos, the breakdown. With Dance Moms, even though it was intense, even though we knew it was technically reality, it just felt like a show. We didn't think of it as real people. It was like a cartoon with rhinestones. That's the thing about nostalgia. It sanitizes the chaos. You remember the pyramid, the sparkly costumes, the rivalries, but not necessarily the actual pressure those girls were under. Watching it now, it's honestly jarring, because you see the editing, the manipulation, the exhaustion. But nostalgia filters it all through this warm, fuzzy lens. It becomes background comfort, like, oh, this is my show. And I think that's the first reason Dance Moms feel safe. It reminds us of when we were messy, dramatic kids, but it's all externalized on screen. We watch chaos instead of living it. Here's the thing. Dance Moms is extremely predictable. Someone's gonna cry, Abby's gonna yell, there will be a pyramid. There will be a duet that somehow becomes a fight between moms. And that predictability, that rhythm, is comforting. It's kind of like the Real Housewives. You know exactly what you're getting. A group of women, a social event, an argument about something small that spirals into betrayal and tears. It's chaos, but structured chaos. And structured chaos is comforting because subconsciously we know it's not ours. When life feels messy, watching their mess gives us control. We can pause it, we can predict it, we can rewatch it. You can't do that with your own chaos. It's the same reason people watch America's Next Top Model. It's not because it's aged well, because believe me, it hasn't. It's because it's familiar. The same beats, the same tropes. You know how it ends, you can breathe in it. That's the weird power of comfort TV that's sometimes toxic. It's like an emotional blanket, but with holes in it. One of the wildest things about Dance Moms is how it turned motherhood into performance. These women weren't just moms, they were characters. Abby and the producers made sure of that. You had the loyal mom, the dramatic mom, the peacemaker mom, and the villain mom. And what's strange is that they were all trying to protect their kids, but they were also competing through their kids. Watching it now, you can't help but see how the show blurred the line between being a mom and being entertaining. And that hits a nerve because we live in this era of performative everything. Social media, family vlogs, even gentle parenting TikTok. Everybody's performing a version of themselves for an audience. So Dance Moms feels familiar. It's just the early rhinestone version of what we now see on YouTube every day. And that's the part of why it sticks. We're watching the prototype of the influencer-parent dynamic. Now let's talk about the kids, because that's the core of it. We watch these girls grow up in front of the camera, being criticized for their bodies, talent, expressions, all at 10 years old? And yet we still root for them. We still find them relatable. For a lot of people, those girls represented a kind of wish fulfillment. Like, what if I had been that talented? What if I had been in that spotlight? But when you get older, that wish feels different. You realize the cost of that kind of visibility, and suddenly it's like, oh, this was actually a pressure cooker. And the sad truth is, the show needed their suffering to work. If everything had gone smoothly, there wouldn't be a show. The stress, the tears, the emotional breakdowns, that's what kept the cameras rolling. So when we call Dance Moms our comfort show, we're also kind of admitting that we find comfort in watching people struggle in ways we can't control. It's messy, but it's true. Here's where it gets tricky, because reality TV is never real. The producers on Dance Moms weren't documenting life, they were crafting drama. They decided who looked bad, who got redemption arcs, who was the favorite. Abby's yelling wasn't random, it was scheduled. The moms' fights weren't organic, they were prompted. And that changes how we view comfort. We find peace in a performance that was built to manipulate us. It's like eating junk food. It feels good, it tastes good, but it's designed to be addictive. And I think a lot of us have emotional junk food shows, Dance Moms, Real Housewives, Teen Mom, Kardashians. They're all curated chaos, and we love them because they distract us from the chaos we can't curate. If Dance Moms is childhood chaos, then The Real Housewives is adult chaos. Both shows follow the same emotional archetype: competition, insecurity, loyalty test, power hierarchies. It's like Dance Moms was the training wheels for Housewives. We watch the housewives scream in designer gowns the same way we watch moms scream in leopard prints at the ALDC. It's familiar energy, just with wine instead of juice boxes. And just like Dance Moms, the Housewives universe has its comfort fans, me. People who watch it religiously because it's soothing to see other people implode in predictable patterns. So when people say, I just want to relax and watch Housewives, what they really mean is, I want to watch a version of life where the drama is entertaining instead of terrifying. Comfort doesn't always come from peace, sometimes it comes from predictability. When you rewatch Dance Moms, you know exactly when things go wrong. There's no surprise, no new pain. You sit there and say, oh, this is the episode where Abby makes Kendall cry. And it doesn't hurt because you've seen it, you've processed it. That's the paradox of comfort TV. It lets us rehearse pain in a controlled environment. You can laugh, cry, roll your eyes, and then go to bed knowing everything resets when the credits rolled. It's emotional exposure therapy. So why Dance Moms? Why do we keep watching a show that clearly wasn't healthy for the people in it? I think it's because we're all trying to understand our own relationship with chaos. The chaos we grew up in, the chaos we consume, the chaos we crave. Watching it gives us permission to examine that without judgment. We can love it, critique it, laugh at it, and still hold space for the truth that it hurt people. And maybe that's what growing up with these shows means. Learning to hold two things at once. That something can be nostalgic and damaging, comforting and exploitative, entertaining and unethical. And that's okay as long as we're aware of it. Because once you can see the chaos clearly, it stops controlling you. I'm Jonathan Bickford, and this has been CreateChaos, the breakdown. Thanks for listening, and remember, it's okay to love the mess as long as you understand where it comes from.